Hello everyone, this is Elspeth from the Planeswalker Pantheon, bringing you today something a little bit different. What I've got right here is a pre-release pack for Ikoria Behemoths, the latest set for Magic the Gathering. Today we're going to do something, like I said, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to open this pre-release pack as though we're at a pre-release because of everything that's going on right now. Wizards allowed people to take home their pre-release kits and to do a pre-release, however they still want to do it. With my store personally, we all went on Discord on the night of the release, for paper at least. We all went on Discord, we all opened packs, we all open a pre-release pack, build decks, and we played over Discord. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open this pack right here. We are going to build a deck, we're going to look at the contents, build a deck, and I'll walk you through it once I have built it. So enough dilly-dallying, let's get to it. So how's everyone's pre-release? I hope everyone's had fun, even with, the state of the world at the moment. It's great that, modern technology still allows us to play Magic, let it be it on Arena, on, live webcam, be it on Magic Online, however you like to play, there is still a way to play Magic. Alright, let me pop this out. For those who haven't seen a pre-release kit, you get a promo card, 6 packs, a dice, a little how to build sheet, and a pre-release code. I have already actually redeemed the pre-release code, so for one of my packs, because I had 3. So there will be a couple of pre-release codes that will be in this video, so feel free to use them if you haven't already, or give them to someone that you know who would have loved to have done a pre-release. Alright, so let's get rid of this. Pop this. Get your die right here. You get your little how to build a pre-release deck. Little guide there. You get some of these cool ability tokens, which I actually like the ones in the pre-release kits a little better because they're a little bit thicker. You get a promo code, which for this box is Unpredictable Cyclone. So for 3 and 2 red, you get an enchantment. It says, if a cycling ability of another non-land card would cause you to draw a card, instead exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with the cycled card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put the exiled cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order, and also cycles for 2. What's cool about these pre-release promos is, A, they're in foil, so hopefully the camera can catch that really cool shine, but they're also date stamped, which is nice to kind of give a memento of the day. So I'll put that to the side. There is our pre-release, a pre-release code, so that's there for anyone who wants to use it. I hope it's flipped the right way, but that'll be there. I'll actually have it in the comments as well, just in case if it doesn't turn out. So let's get to the stuff that really matters. You get 6 packs of the latest set. Let's just get to cracking. And one thing I've got to do. Oh, I missed that sound of a brand new, fresh booster pack. It's been a long time since I heard one of these. So, let's see what we've got. Cathartic Reunion with new art. I actually prefer the old art personally, but that's just me. New Evolving Wilds art. Huntmaster Liger is our first uncommon. Boneyard Lurker is our second. Zagoth Mamba is our third uncommon. And our rare is a Quartzwood Crusher. So for 2 and 2 red and a green, you get a creature dinosaur beast. It's a 6/6 with trample. Whenever one or more creatures you control with trample deals combat damage to a player, create an XX green dinosaur beast creature token with trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player. And we've got Swift Water Cliffs and some of those ability tokens. Dream Talent is probably one of the best common mutators. First uncommon is a Keen Sight Mentor. So this is part of a cycle where you put an ability counter onto a non-human creature, and you can pay 1 and the relevant color to put a +1/+1 count on each creature you control with that ability. Cunning Nightbonder. So if you want to build Flash Tribal, this would be pretty awesome. Ominous Seas, one of the probably coolest playoffs in blue for cycling and drawing. And our rare is Offspring's Revenge. So this is a part of a cycle of rare enchantments in the particular wedges. This is the Mardu one. So Offspring's Revenge. So for 2 red, white, and black, you get an enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile target red, white, or black creature card that's from your graveyard. Create a token card that's a copy of that card, except it's a 1/1. It gains haste until your next turn. That's real neat. Oh, and we've got a foil Gust of Wind right there. And Dismal Backwater and a Human Soldier. In each of the packs, you'll get either you'll basically get an Evolving Wild. You might get either an Evolving Wild if it already hasn't got it in the pack, or you'll get one of the cool dual lands, one of the cool game lands. Thieving Order. I love this card so much. I actually had on a draft in an arena. I had this with the octopus that has the same effect. First uncommon is the Wingspan Mentor, so this one is the same as that cycle, except this one deals with flying. We've got Trumpeting Nav. This is actually I'm kind of happy I opened this on camera. This is the alternate art style, well, the sort of more comic book style artwork that you can get in this set. It's neat. I think I've nearly got a playset of this art style. Actually, I've got one in foil as well. Got a Sanctuary Smasher. Smashy, smashy. And we got one of the ultimatums. This is the Genesis ultimatum. So this is the one in Teamer. With Ikoria, they completed the cycle of ultimatums that they started in a Lara block, I'm going to say, because I don't know which set. So this is the one for Teamer. So for 2 green, 3 blue, and 2 red, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, put any number of permanent cards from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest into your hand. You exile the Genesis ultimatum. Neat. So we've got an island, and we've got another Human Soldier. This is going to be an interesting pool, I think, to build from. I've got to see what I can come up with later on, and we'll talk about the deck once we've built it. Got our first uncommon is Will of the All Hunter. Splendomare is our second uncommon. Ivy Elemental is our third uncommon, and this has been a common in previous sets because the ability is not great, but the thing is, when you mutate onto a creature with +1/+1 counters, they actually retain the counters no matter how you've mutated onto it, so that's pretty neat. And our rare is Cub Warden, so for 3 and a white, you get a 3/5 creature cat. It has lifelink. Whenever this creature mutates, you create 2 1/1 cat creature tokens with lifelink. And its mutate cost is 2 and 2 white. So how mutate works, for those who haven't seen this effect, is you have a non-human creature card in play. You pay the relevant mutate cost, and you can choose to put it on top or underneath a particular card. So just say if I had the Ivy Elemental. Alright, the Ivy Elemental is in play. It's got its counters on it. I pay 2 and 2 white. I can put it on top, and it'll become a 3/5 plus however many +1/+1 counters on it. It'll have lifelink, and it'll have this ability, and I'll create those 2 cat tokens. And the more I do it, the more that this ability will trigger, the more it'll trigger. It will create more of an army in a can, and so on and so forth. If I put it underneath, it'll still have the ability, but it will be identified as an Ivy Elemental. So that's how that works. Put Ivy Elemental back here, put Cub Warden back here. Got a Plains, and ooh, little companion token. I didn't realize they did one of these. So this is just a little place card holder for the companions, if you want to put one there. And if we open a companion, I'll explain how that mechanic works. We got a Go for Blood. Next pack. Honey Mammoth is great. Cavern Whisperer. Man, I've been really good at opening these altar cards in just normal packs. I've gotten some real good ones in my other pre-release kits as well. Humble Naturalist. Folly. Our first uncommon is Proud Wildbonder. Flame Spill is our second uncommon. This is actually a very good removal spell. It if you've played with the most recent unset, this is super Death Ray. But they've basically adjusted it so it could work in black border. Our third uncommon is the Cunning Nightbonder, and our rare is the Mythos of Aluna. So this is part of a cycle of mythoses that reference all of the aspects that are in this set. Each aspect references one of the wedges, basically. So this is the one for Aluna. So for 2 and 2 blue, you get a sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent. If red and green was spent to cast this spell, instead create a token that's a copy of that permanent. Except the token has, when this permanent enters the battlefield, if it's a creature, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So you can pay 2 and 2 blue, and you just get a clone, which is great. You'd love it, you'll play it every time. If you spend red and green instead, so red, green, and 2 blue, right, you still get that clone effect, but you get a little fight effect on top, which is great value. Got an island. No table required. In these days, yes, that's true, there is no table required to play Magic, but that is not the norm. It's a way you can play, but not the way that I like to play. I like opening packs with friends, you know, hanging out, talking, you know, and just having fun with friends. Another Cavern Whisperer. First uncommon is Clash of Titans. Got a Hornbash Mentor. Catch a Crystal. This is part of a cycle of crystals. So you can pay 3 to get an artifact that taps for one of the 3 colours of the relevant cycle. So Ketra, for instance, is green, blue, and red, or Teema. And you can cycle it away for 2, so these are really nice value cards here. And our rare is actually a companion, so I'm happy that kind of came up. This is Umori the Collector. So for 2 and 2 Golgari Hybrid, you get a legendary creature Ooze. It's a 4/5. As Umori the Collector enters the battlefield, choose a card type. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. I had this in the pre-release kit that I opened for my store for our games. I was very close to hitting the companion, but my spells were just too good. For it to be your companion, each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. So, all creatures, all instants, all sorceries, all enchantments, you get the gist. I nearly could companion it, but just I had some really good removal in black-green, and also, in addition to having that good removal, I just had some really cool reanimate spells. So I was like, alright, you don't have to play the companion in your main deck if you don't want to. Got a Jungle Hollow and our Human Soldier. So guys, that's the pack. I'm going to cut the video here and we will build a deck. I'll see you in a short moment. And we're back, guys. I hope you guys... I missed you guys, so I hope you guys missed me. This is our completed pre-release deck. We ended up going for a little bit of Teema flavour today. So, let's walk through the deck. First off, in our 1-drops, we've just got an Almighty Brushwag. This is a fine 1-drop. You know, perfectly fine, okay, fine early. Late game, you can always pump it up, make it bigger. And it's just a great target to actually mutate onto because it still retains that little pump ability and it has trample. So you always want keywords already on the things that you're mutating onto. In our 2-drop spot, we've got a few things. We've got a Survivor's Bond. We've got a whole heap of great non-human creatures in our deck, as you'll see when we get through. But we've also got some very key human creatures as well, so we can always utilize both ends of the card, which is always great. We've also got a ram through. We have a little bit of trampling, but in this deck, which is great. But you'll find that this card is just great in all your green decks, so you'll be playing this regardless of if you're doing the extra damage to your opponent with the ram through. Next, we've got 2 pairs of Go for Blood. This is just a great 2-mana little fight spell. You know, it's removal. You always want removal unlimited. And if worse comes to worse, we can always cycle it away. And then we've got 2 pairs of Humble Naturalists. Humble Naturalist is great. It can help us pay for those mutate costs, because mutating is casting a creature spell. It also helps us ramp and fix up some of our more, let's say, weirder creatures that we've got in this deck. But that's our 2-drop slot. Pretty solid there. In our 3-drop pile, we've got a Ketra Crystal. So this is the Teamer Crystal. Since we are playing a 3-color deck, the one thing you don't want to happen is have yourself stuck on mana. So this is a great little 3-mana play. Helps you fix for your colors, and if you don't need the fixing, you can cycle it away. Everything that is edge case should cycle, I think. We've got a pair of Thieving Orders. These 2 are the best boys you'll ever want in your blue decks. It's an Ophidian. Whenever it deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card. Drawing cards is always good. To go with those 2 Thieving Orders, normally I wouldn't put this card in because it is relatively narrow. It's Phase Dolphin. So for 2 and a blue, you get a creature Elemental Whale. It's a 1/4, but this is the reason why. It's only because I've got these 2 Thieving Orders, and we've got some very big beefy creatures. Whenever the Dolphin attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked. So pair it with the Thieving Orders, you're guaranteed to draw a card. Pair it with some of our more bigger, beefier creatures, you're guaranteed damage. You've got a Trumpeter in this really cool comic book style art. It's a great creature just on its base, a 3/3 for 3. You always want to play it. But it's also got, if you happen to draw it late game and you can mutate for the 5, so for 3 and 2 Simic Hybrid, you can get a 3/3 green beast creature token. Put it on the Brushwag, you'll love it. Put it on your Thieving Orders, you'll love it. And put it on any of our bigger creatures, you'll love it. You'll love it at every stage of the game, basically. We've also got a Hornbash Mentor. So this is one of the humans that I was talking about earlier with Survivor's Bond. Hornbash Mentor is the green member of the Mentor cycle. You put a trample counter on target non-human creature, and for 2 and a green and tap it, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with trample. You always want those ability tokens. They are great. We've got a Brushwag already at 1 that could already benefit from this, and you'll see that we'll have some minor trampling themes later in the deck. And finally, we've got the Wingspan Mentor. This is the blue one in the cycle. Instead of giving trample, it gives your creatures flying. Who doesn't love for their big, beefy creatures to fly, right? And those are the main humans that I want to actually target with Survivor's Bond. Just say if they get killed off early, fine, we can always bring it back. It's not a big deal. In our 4-drop spot, we have the Mythos of Aluna. This card is just great on its own. You can just use it as a clone effect, and you always love a clone. You'll never not want it. If we can get that extra value and pay the red and green, that's even better, because we are very much primarily in those colours. You've got a Gust of Wind. I was debating whether or not to keep it in here. 4 mana to cast it can be a little bit expensive, especially if we haven't got any flying payoffs. But at worst, it's a non-land permanent. You can break up a mutate creature. It can stop something from hitting you that you don't want it to hit. And you draw a card, so at least you're getting a replacement out of it. So it's not the worst in the world. We've got a Proud Wild Bonder. This is another one of those humans that we might want to bring back. So for 2 and 2 Gruul Hybrid, you do a 4/3 human warrior with trample. And it basically gives your creatures the Thorn Elemental text of, you may have this creature assign combat damage as though it won't blocked. And you'll see we've got some beefier stuff in the higher ends of our deck. We've also got 1 Imori the Collector. We weren't able to companion him this time, unfortunately, because, let's be real, I want to play with the Ultimatum and like some of our Mythos in particular. So companioning him might be a little bit hard, but it's still a value creature. When you're playing this deck, pretty much always name a creature, because it'll just bring down the cost of some of our bigger stuff down a step. And it's a 4/5 for 4, which is always a good bit of value. Dreamtail Heron. Yes, I know I've got it in the 4-drop slot, but because of its ability to mutate for 4, it actually costs a lot less than what it looks on the card. It's a 3/4 with flying. It's always great value, and you are going to want to mutate it onto one of your earlier drops, and it'll actually be great with Gust of Wind. In our 5 drops, we've got a Quartzwood Crasher. So this is our trample payoff. So for 2 red and a green, you get a creature dinosaur beast, 6 with trample. It combines great with the Proud Wild Bonder, and it's also a good mutate target to mutate onto. It allows you to make something very big and then create a board state out of those much larger cards. And then in our 6 drop slot, we've got a Sanctuary Smasher. If it comes in too early, we can always cycle it away and get it later with the with our reanimate card, the Survivor's Bond. And we can always have it as a 6/4 with first strike later on. So that way we can always get a bit of use out of it, bring it back later when we find the need for it. And we've also got a Honey Mammoth. So it's a 6-mana 6/6. You gain 4 life. It's perfectly fine as a mutate target, and it's just a big beefy creature that they'll just have to chump block until they can't anymore. Finally, now this is a little self-indulgence of mine. I know that we aren't always going to be guaranteed to cast it at all times, but right here we've got a little Genesis Ultimatum. We're in the colours, we're playing the Mythos, we're gonna try and do it. So with the Genesis Ultimatum, for 2 green, 3 blue, and 2 red, you look at the top 5 cards, put any number of permanent cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest into your hand, exile Genesis Ultimatum. The only things that we've got that aren't permanents are the Mythos, the Gust of Wind, and that's it. And the Go for Bloods, everything, and the Survivor's Bond and Wrath, so most of our non-creature spells. We're gonna hit at some point. 5 cards is a fair bit down, and if we're gonna go big, gotta go big or go home, right? So this has been Elspeth of the Planeswalker Pantheon. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you like, share, comment, favorite, subscribe, do all the things that let you guys know that we exist and that we're putting out content. You can find us on the Planeswalker Pantheon on Facebook. The links will be down below. You can follow me on Twitter as well. That link will be down in the comments. And we'll see you next time.